Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dota Yoshi, joined here today by Xalorith. Xalorith, how are you?
I'm doing quite well, quite excited to get into this game. How about yourself?
I am doing pretty well. And speaking of tonight's game, we have Comeback Kings vs I Don't Know on the Cybergamer Ladder. And so far we have Comeback Kings, they are ranked 53rd, but they're under quite a big win to loss ratio at the moment, and they're challenging against I Don't Know. Can they take that 12th position if I Don't Know? We'll see how things pan out of the game and see if Comeback Kings deserve their top 20 position. And so far on the bans we have Comeback Kings. They've taken out that Bat Rider and that Storm Spirit. Over on I Don't Know we've got the Io and their next hero coming out very shortly.
Yeah, so we're going to see that IO being played, so no teleport, Teva shenanigans this game. Same with our Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit's not a hero you generally see banned in the first phase, however, he's quite a strong mid hero, quite a good ganky hero. So yeah, can set up quite a few things, and we'll see what I don't know decide to respond with. There's still quite a few heroes on the board, such as that Lifestealer, Shadow Demon, Lone Druid. They're fairly common bans in this first phase. It's actually going to be the Nyx Assassin, so nothing out of the well, too out of the ordinary in this first banning phase, except for maybe the Storm Spirit, and we'll see how Combat Kings decide to do in these in their first pick. It might be something like that Lifestealer, or maybe they'll just pick up an early support.
And both sides are getting rid of the initiation and ganking roaming potential heroes. You have the Batrider, Storm Spirit, Io, and Nyx. At any point in moment, they could be anywhere on the map, and they could be ganking one of your heroes. And speaking of so, we have the Vengeful Spirit. She's a really nice hero that can help pull people out of position, set them up for your side. You do sacrifice yourself, but if you can get it on a carry, that is pretty much game for that hero. And then on the side of I Don't Know, they've picked up the Gyrocopter and Darkseer. Darkseer is such a fantastic offlane, it's not even laughable. He'll hold lanes by himself and go up against tri-lanes and come out with kills. He will pick up creep kills, he'll get an early mechanism, and then that could create a snowball effect. And he's just one of those heroes that will also win team fights for you. He has that wall, he has that vacuum. And then on top of the Gyrocopter's cooldown, Flat Cannon, and Rocket Barrage, that's going to do a lot of damage. You can throw that Iron Shell onto the Gyrocopter, surge him in. Gyrocopter's got his Flat Cannon, the Rocket Barrage popped off, and it'll just do more damage than you could possibly withstand. So I really like the combination picked up there from I Don't Know. They've got a lineup in mind, and we'll look to see it play out. I wouldn't be too surprised if they pick up quite a few more AoE-centric abilities, such as the Queen of Pain. Maybe if an Enigma, if we're lucky. I want to see an Enigma. And over on the side of Combat Kings, we see that Witch Doctor being picked up.
Yeah, so two very interesting heroes there from Vengeful Spirit and Witch Doctor. Heroes you don't see picked up very often. However, in the past month we have seen every single hero picked or banned that is in the Captain's Mode pool in Pro Scene, so that's quite nice to see some versatility. As you said though, Gyrocopter and Darkseer are very strong picks, and we do see the Shadow Demon, Windrunner, and Lifesteal, and Lone Druid, so very strong bans in the second phase as well. So we'll see what the teams decide to pick up. We still have that Jakiro, who's a little bit more common these days, but that Rubik's still on the field as well, so there's still quite a few options on the board.
And Combat Kings, they've got a very aggressive 2 support heroes here. They've got fantastic single target damage burst. Ventral's very useful with her swap and her aura and her her wave that goes through and put all that negative armor and reveals. Witch Doctor, that Maledict, that hurts. If you can get throw that Maledict down on top of Ventral's stun, and then any follow-up damage, that will destroy any target they're up against. So look to see Combat Kings being very aggressive with their current lineup and their tri-lane to possibly get the first blood and a few kills. And see those 2 supports rotate around the map, maybe even go mid, find a kill in mid, because anywhere those 2 supports would go, they should find kills. They have great stuns, they have great potential on that burst damage themselves, and then any follow-up from any of the other heroes in each of the lanes should help them secure that kill. And over on the side of I Don't Know, they pick up their first support in that Rubik. Rubik's going to have quite a versatile range of spells to be able to steal so far. He's got a heal from Witch Doctor, he's got stuns, he's got Maledict, he's even got the ult, Vengeful, anything she throws out, Rubik would be happy, would gladly take. Be that another stun, a swap, even the negative armor aura, or negative armor wave. So, I don't know, their lineup's been is their conventional lineup you would see these days, but it's a tried true formula that works, and I really love seeing them picking up something that you've seen work and that you know will work no matter what.
Yeah, we've seen his Pudge pick up, which is very interesting. Pudge is not a hero you see very often. Usually picked up if one of your players is very skilled with that hook. So it looks like we're going to see some interesting play here from Comeback Kings, that's for sure. Rubik though can steal that hook, and he does not get any cast away with it, which is quite nice. So yeah, quite a few good abilities that Rubik can pick up from the Comeback Kings lineup so far. We'll see what we'll see what I don't know decide to pick up as their fourth hero here. They still have to pick up a mid hero, and I guess they can play Gyrocopter in that offlane if they really want to. But considering they've got that Darkseid, I highly doubt it. So I suspect they'll either pick up a mid lane or another support here.
And Comeback Kings, with that push pickup, that just shows how aggressive they are. But one problem they're lacking is damage on the side of AoE. Pudge has his Rot, and then the rest of the side of Comeback Kings, they have no AoE damage, so they could be let down in these great team fights if they don't start picking up any heroes with some burst or AoE damage. If they pick up a Corp now or a Puck, they'll be very useful to their side as they'll but however, they have that Pudge, so that's pretty much the get of them, unless they want to run him in a scary tri-lane of at any moment you could die kind of thing, which I would love to see, but I don't think would be happening. But Comeback King, they really need to start picking up heroes that have some kind of AoE, and there's not too many heroes left in the pool for the positions they require. They need an offlane hero, and they don't really have too many options available for that, and they need their pure carry a part of that tri-lane, and still then there's not too many heroes that will give you that great AoE variety. I mean, you can pick up maybe a Sven if you really wanted to play a Sven. He's got a nice burst and cleave to him. Juggernaut could be quite nice. Early on, his spin will do a lot of damage, jumping on anyone who gets stunned by Vengeful Spirit and joined up with Witch Doctor. But I think they're going to be a little lacking in these team fights, especially if that Trinity Protected picked up now on I don't know. They have team fight ulti galore, and they pick up a Sand King. This is exactly what they need, except are they going to be wanting to run Vengeful Spirit as a carry, is my question.
Yeah, an interesting choice, and Vengeful Spirit has been buffed slightly recently. I believe her strength gain per level has been increased, her range on the ultimate has been increased as well. However, you generally see her as the more initiate hero. You know, you swap in, allowing your team to pick up a very early kill on whatever she swaps in. So it's... Considering she does that swap, she can sort of get locked out of position herself. But we'll see exactly how Comeback Kings decide to play this. It can be Vengeful Spirit as their main carry, which would be quite interesting, and I'd quite like to see. It's quite unique play. But they did pick up that Sand King, which gives them a little bit more stun potential, and of course that ultimate is quite nice if they can land it. The team of I don't know, they're going to be looking towards more of that AoE play, and if they're going to be sticking together, that nice epicenter can dish out a ton of damage. But we'll see exactly how they decide to play this.
And it looks to see, like, once I don't know and Darkseid picks up his mechanism, I wouldn't be too surprised if they just start grouping up 5-man in, because in the 5-man situation, they will have the team composition to easily win it. Like, on paper, I don't know should take this game in the first 15 to 25 minutes. They'll be ahead, they'll win these fights. But Comeback Kings, they have those token heroes. If they can start roaming around, they can find picks off everywhere. They can shut down I don't know before they can get into that group fight position. And if Vengeful and Witch Doctor and Sand King, they've got Sand King, who's got one of the best stuns in the game, except it's very short range early on, but it just gets better and better. You have Vengeful, who's got one of the best single target stuns herself, and then Witch Doctor, with that Maledict, anyone will die once they've started to be initiated upon. So Comeback Kings, if they can take their very aggressive stance early on and get these kills, then they can shut down I don't know before they take off, especially if this Alchemist is in that tri-lane of Comeback Kings as against it. Comeback Kings has that opportunity to shut him down before he starts ramping up early on and make sure Alchemist has to sit in the jungle later on in the game. So it all comes down to Comeback Kings and how they play. If they play aggressive and find some of these kills, they will start to take this game themselves. If they don't find these kills early on, I'm not sure how will they. I don't think they'll fare too well in these team fights later on in the game.
Yeah, definitely. That Alchemist quite a strong pick there as well. It's an interesting choice considering they don't have a more traditional mid lane hero. So we'll see exactly how they decide to place. I mean, you see a Spectre pick up there. So this is very interesting because I'm not 100% sure exactly how Comeback Kings wishes to lane this. I mean, they can lane a Pudge in mid, who's probably the more expected mid lane hero. Their off lane hero is going to be a little bit tricky, and I feel like they should probably put the VS there just because she probably won't struggle as much against the Darkseer as, for example, the Spectre would. But we'll see exactly how they play it.
Definitely. And over on the side of I Don't Know, we have Ander, the captain, playing on that support role of the Treant, followed by his fellow support will be Rambi on their Rubik. In their mid lane currently, they have their Alchemist on Brando, being played by Brando, sorry. We do have Gyrocopter being played by Sev, and finally in that offlane position, Admiral Susdog will be on that Darkseer.
And on the side of Combat Kings, we've got their captain Pimpy G playing the Spectre, being followed by the support of Immature playing the Witch Doctor. We have Putin playing the Vengeful Spirit. Sand King will be played by Effect, and last but not least, we have Pudge being played by Bona Inducing.
And we had CBK, they were checking out the Roshan, they were a little bit nervous that something sneaky was going on there. They thought they could have went for an early Roshan attempt, so they go check that out just to be sure, and nothing's going on there. CBK, however, they are waiting in the jungle. They were hoping someone came in so they could find that little bit of a sneaky kill, and at the moment where lanes are situated, this isn't favourable for CBK. They have their aggressive nature of those 3 stunners up at top lane, but it looks like they are possibly going to be rotating down bottom, which is what I love. Have your Spectre farm top lane, get her levels by herself, you have your 3 very aggressive stunners down on bottom, and then if Spectre's ever needed, she can just use her ult, come in at any time, get assists and get those kills. So I really like how Combat Kings are deciding to line up, putting their tri-lane against the opposing tri-lane of I Don't Know, and they can find some of these kills, especially on squishy heroes such as Rubik and even Gyrocopter. He's extremely squishy early on, especially with going for tangos and blades of attack.
Yeah, definitely. Comeback Kings, they were all 5 heroes up in that top lane, looking like they wanted to get a kill on anyone who tried to ward up that neutrals, but weren't able to capitalize anything, and they're just going to transition back into their own lanes. We will have a try versus try in his bottom lane. And you know, they've got some decent stuns here with the Witch Doctor, Vengeful Spirit and Sand King, so they might be able to capitalize on some early kills there.
And what I would like to see so far, it looks like they're trying to get the farm on the Sand King. Sand King's been trying to get these last hits. If Sand King can get all these last hits for himself, get him an early Arcane Boots, and get him a very fast Blink, that's going to turn the fights, and they'll have at least a very good, solid initiation and mid-team fight hero, because usually you see when Sand Kings are picked, they get no gold, they get no XP, and they just can't get their blink in time and the game is lost. If they can get the XP up on the Sand King and the gold, we could see a very tide-turning game with a very early blink dagger on the side of the Sand King.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Sand King's not a hero you generally see getting all that the last hit farm, but as you were saying, you know, if he can get it, he can certainly set up some of those early kills, get that early blink, which will certainly help them in when it comes to the team fight stages. And as you were saying, it's more of a mid-ish orientated sort of style.
So Alchemist is doing fairly well in the middle here. He's 10 for 1. He's leveling up his acid spray more than anything. His cocktail is only level 1, but he's going for that farm build without that Goblin's Greed. So he's being greedy, but not too greedy. His acid spray is doing a lot of damage to that Pudge. Pudge tried to hook just previously, missed out and hit that creeper. Now Pudge is set behind even further. He's not even going to challenge for this rune. Alchemist is already on his way down to collect it. So Alchemist is going to get a free rune, he's going to refill his bottle. Up in top lane we have Darkseid diving in on that Spectre. This could be very bad. Spectre's doing a lot of damage, especially if now 1 point in Desolate. Can he get that final Spectral Dagger off in 6 seconds? Darkseid's popped that salve and he's going to be out of there. So that's just going to cause the aggression from that Spectre to walk away. But now Darkseid, he knows that Spectre can do some damage. I believe he also got stunned by the Centaur, so there was even more free attacks coming in on the way of Spectre.
Yeah, Daxia playing very aggressively there. Has to be a little bit careful not to. Oh, hold that forward. Looks like we've got a bit of initiation here on mid. He's charging up that stun, gets it off, and does a bit of right click damage, but he'll have to back off. Bandit unfortunately unable to capitalize on the kill there with that haste. But this Pudge is taking so much damage, and currently, I mean, he's sitting on 9 last hits, which is actually pretty good considering how much the Alchemist has been trying to, how much aggression this Alchemist is putting on, I should say. So yeah, well played there by him.
So we have Vengeful Spirit. She's rotating in. She's thinking about maybe picking off or getting some help onto this Alchemist. Pudge has just picked up his bottle. They just upgraded the courier. If she can get a stun off very fast, she throws out that wave. Alchemist should be very careful, but it's too late. Vengeful, she gave away her position with that wave. Alchemist was way out of position. If she did not throw out that wave, walked in further and got that stun off, I think Alchemist could have been the first blood to that Pudge then. However, that's not so. Alchemist walks away. Vengefule's going to continue rotating up top lane and try and, not sure, maybe stack and help out the Spectre a little bit, but I think they've just given away their advantage to this bottom lane. They had 3 stunners. They could force Gyrocopter to be a lot more defensive. They could even find a kill, but now Sand King's not going to get any farm. Witch Doctor's now going to be initiated upon him, gets lifted up, and then killed off by that Gyrocopter, and now he's gone. So the try lane for bottom is now just gone in favour of I don't know. Up top lane, Vengeful threw out a stun on Darkseer, did absolutely nothing due to the living armor up, and now now CBK are rotating their heroes up top, trying to shut down a Darkseer, which I think is a little bit of a blunder or a strange play to go across.
Yeah, we see this Alchemist charging in as well. It sets up that the acid spray and the stun lands on the Spectre, but doesn't look like there's enough follow-up damage. And Darkseid, he has that Soul Ring now, so he will be sitting very comfortably in this lane, just able to ensure that he always gets that Iron Shells off, and he should be very happy with that. He should be able to get even more farm very, very quickly.
The Pudge might just hit level 6 now. Down on bottom, they did try to go on Sand King, but they're not going to find that Sand King. Sand King did get his burrow up and running. He's got 1 point in stats, 2 points in burrow, and 1 point in sandstorm, so they'll keep him alive a little bit longer. This may force I don't know to buy some counter revelations to try and pick off the Sand King easier. Pudge is not going to be able to find this Alchemist in mid lane. However, he saw him go towards that rune, and then he tried to cut him off, but not going to happen. So Pudge is going to get back in the river. Alchemist is going to walk the long way around, but he shouldn't miss out on too much XP. It doesn't look like any creeps are going to fall before he gets there, so he's not going to. It's not going to phase him too much. But CBK, they're throwing away their early game position, early game advantage with their aggressive lineup, and now their supports are just wandering around the map, not sure where to go. Sand King's down on bottom, he's not getting anything himself, and now Vengeful's up top, soaking XP that Spectre she desperately needed.
Yeah, CBK is certainly in a bit of a tricky predicament here. Oh, we have a bit of an engagement here in mid. Pudge popping off that ulti. Oh, he misses the hook, unfortunately. Nice dodge there from Alchemist, and now he's chasing the Pudge. It looks like he's going to get finished off here with the help of this Treant.
The nice juke coming out by that Alchemist to dodge that Pudge. Pudge should have just waited a little bit longer, waited till there was some turning from that Alchemist, because once you start turning, he's in a dead position. We see a little bit of initiation on bottom, but nothing's going to happen. Treant Protection will get double damage and hit for 200 damage per hit, so he's quite scary. Up at top lane, Darkseer once again being extremely aggressive. Spectre, she's chasing after it, but Vengel's just going to survive a 50 HP, throw out whatever she can, and now she's on the run from a creep that wants to finish her off. But Darkseer, he's playing very aggressively, and it's working out quite nice for him. Up at top lane, they don't have too much to go against that. Pudge actually grabs a kill on the Gyrocopter down bottom lane, and now the two supports are on the run. So nice rotation from this Pudge to TP down bottom, find up a kill, and now once again, this is what they needed to be doing. They needed to have those 3 heroes down bottom lane, forcing I don't know to be defensive, and grabbing a kill now on that Gyrocopter. Gyrocopter will be scared and will be playing quite passive and defensive of his own. Now we have Pudge rotating through the jungle with that Witch Doctor bone behind him, so now they're looking to go towards on this Alchemist, and Alchemist has to be careful. He should know something's up. They won't spot the Pudge from the revelation, and he's going to continue walking behind. You have TP support coming in from the Witch Doctor. Actually, not the Witch Doctor, the Vengeful, and now this Pudge is in a lot of trouble. We have the wave come out. Do we have the stun? No, Alchemist is running the other way. Stun comes out. Great stun. We should see a Devour very shortly, or Dismember, Malefic, and we have a dead Alchemist. This is what they needed. Now they're using their support. Will Alchemist be able to find a kill on his own? Yes, he does find a kill. The Pudge Hook once again misses. Down at bottom lane, they're diving in on the Sand King. Sand King needs one more auto attack. They're not going to find it. Now Gyrocopter's taking a lot of damage, but that living armor will help him get out of there. So, CBK, they get out with a kill, and then they lost a support in the meanwhile, but for an Alchemist, it's more than worth it.
Yeah, definitely. A little bit sloppy there, but nonetheless they managed to pick off the Alchemist. So they won't be too shy about that. And this Pudge is actually playing quite well, besides his hooks. He's been playing quite nicely. He's been doing what he should be doing, which is roaming around and getting ganks. That's what you should do as a Pudge. You should get those levels as quickly as possible, start roaming, try to set up those hooks. If not, at the very least dismember, and yeah, help your team get a few kills.
This Darkseer playing wonderfully. He knows the heroes are missing off the map. They suspect him rotated through that mid and then go top towards him, and now he's just sitting on the tower, so he doesn't need to do anything. And now the two heroes of CBK, they've wasted a little bit of time. Pudge TP's middle, so he's not going to miss out on too much XP. And now Alchemist, he's sitting on 38 for 3. He's brought up a Medallion of Courage, so he's doing a lot of damage to heroes. Get rid of as much armor as possible, especially if they're sitting on that acid. And he'll just chew through them, as you saw a little bit earlier, and onto that Witch Doctor who just melted in 3 hits.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, Witch Doctor is a very fragile hero. He's got less than 600 health at his current level, and Darkseer actually finishes off Vengeful Spirit in his top lane despite being up against, he gets killed himself. Unfortunately TP was not able to save him, but yeah, despite being up against the Spectre, was able to land a kill on Vengeful Spirit. So this is Darkseer actually playing incredibly well.
Definitely. And that's what Darkseers are for. They grab all the XP, and even against Tri-Lanes and Dual-Lanes, he can come out ahead with kills. And he's just one of those fantastic heroes. The Pudge Hook's not going to miss. The creep didn't die fast enough, so he hooked the creep. I think he may have denied that creep, I'm not too sure. I guess that's at least a positive. And Trinit comes in, gives a ward to give vision onto this Pudge, and now they're going to have vision over this night time, and Alchemist will be able to pretty much avoid any further hooks coming in his way.
Yeah, definitely. And Pudge just hooking that creep basically to deny it. He does have that urn now, which will give him a little bit more mana regen and life if he ever falls low. But yeah, this, as we were saying before, this Darkseer is actually sitting on top of the last hit, and he's very close to finishing off that mechanism. He's currently sitting on 530 gold, so he'll have it very, very soon, unless he keeps dying, but I don't suspect he will, considering how well he's been playing. And we might see a little bit of a gank here on this Pudge from the Alchemist. He does have that invisibility rune, so we'll see if he decides to just... The Pudge backs off pretty wisely there. A lot of the heroes from, I don't know, missing, and it looks like they're just going to go move into bottom and try to set up a gank with this smoke.
That was a little unfortunate if I don't know, but it was nice for CBK. Great timing into that smoke, and now they're looking for bottom lane. And they know that they're missing off the map, and they've already suspected that they're missing, because Pudge walked downwards, and he hasn't shown himself ever since. But now they've suspected they're hiding in the trees. If we can see the Sand King clean this wave up, they might even go for a dive onto the tower, and they have more than enough damage to go to the dive on the tower against a Rubik and a Gyrocopter, especially since Rubik does nothing. However, they go top. Darkseer's once again diving on the heroes, and then Pudge is waiting for a hook. He gets the hook on the Darkseer, lands it on the Surge. Darkseer throws that vacuum out and dies off. Now we have a turnaround. Pudge is going to fall shortly after to that Alchemist. Alchemist is going to lovely take that, and the stun from Vengeful Spirit, it's going to destroy that creep. Creep never saw it coming. Not what they wanted though. Alchemist just pops his ultimate off and walks away. Now they're looking at turning it back around. There's 4 heroes up top. Can they do anything with it? We see the TP support coming and buyback from the Darkseer. This should tell CBK to back off. Darkseer's only got one way to go when he's buybacks. Alchemist has that Iron Shot up on him. He's ready to jump in. They might pop an invis on the Alchemist. He's just going to walk in there anyway. He's going to reveal everything. They know the Darkseer's up here. So they've all rightfully backed off. Spectre, she can stay up here a little bit and soak some XP in, because she does have that Spectre to get, Spectral Dagger to get through. But that's the top tower gone. Bottom tower has also fallen, so that's 2 towers in favour of I don't know.
Yeah, and we also see all the heroes from I don't know now in the top lane, so it looks like they want to continue doing something here. We'll see exactly how it ends up for them. Looks like they might want to back off, just because they realize that there's nothing here in the jungle lying in wait or anything, and they might just be wasting their time. Like the alchemist and the drycopter are doing quite well in farm, but if they're just walking around in this top lane, it's time that they're losing and time that they could be spent farming. So I feel like they should be backing off in the next few seconds. And we have a disconnect, so we shall see it forward.
And what's really nice about I Don't Know is they have started to group up and they know they can take these team fights now. They've got tier 1 towers on top and bottom tower down. Dux has almost got his mechanism up. 100 gold, he's got that mechanism. And once they have that, they can barrel down any towers they want. Alchemist will chew through the towers when he pops. Oops, sorry, once again. When he pops that chemical rage, he can chew through towers instantly, and he'll just go through them. He's got all the health in the world and support behind him, and they have the team fight potential. They have the acid, they have the cooldown, vacuum, wall. They have all these fantastic abilities that synergize together, and not to forget the treants overgrowth. Once they get that mechanism, they'll group up, they'll push towers down, and they'll force CPK to lose all this farm. The Sand King, he did well to get his arcane boots up against that tri-lane he was by himself for a while, but he still doesn't, he's not up to that Blink Dagger standard. And now the heroes of I Don't Know are coming up, barreling behind, but they saw him due to the ward up on the cliff, and they're just going to back off a little bit. If we can get a fantastic ultimate off the Sand King, it can turn the fight, but how this tier 1 tower is going to just fall in mid lane. There's nothing CBK can do, not too much they can do about it.
Yeah, and if that Pudge hook is gonna miss, I was just gonna say if the Pudge can land a good hook and just lock out one of the heroes, it could set up one fairly easy kill. And Sand King charges up that ulti, and wow, what an excellent initiation there from them. And this is a ton of damage outgoing. Nice pull in though by the Darkseer and follow up cooldown, dealing a ton of damage. And currently it's 3-4-1. Pudge is on the run. He will get chased up, and he should fall as well here. That Iron Shell not dispelling the bottle, however, he's still being chased, still taking a ton of damage, tries to heal himself up, gets the hook and finishes off the Alchemist before he dies though. So well played by him. However, it is a 4-for-2 trade.
One little thing I want to point out of that fight, Witch Doctor, he threw the Maledict down on a hero that was destined to die instantly. If he'd thrown it down on the two tankier heroes such as that Shri and that Alchemist, they would have taken a lot more damage over time from that epicenter, and they would have fallen close to instantly, and they wouldn't have done the damage they did. So that one little Maledict play being thrown on a hero that was destined to die, that wastes such a brilliant ability, and it just... that's one of the things that just got him down that fight. But that epicenter, you couldn't have asked for a better epicenter. He was in the middle of trees. He stunned 3, maybe 4 targets, and the pulses hit on everyone. So brilliant play coming in from effect there.
Yeah, definitely. Really playing well in terms of positioning, knowing where those blind spots are, and really giving it putting it to his advantage. We did see I Don't Know very quickly come back with that well-placed Darkseer wall and the Gyrocopter follow-up. So I Don't Know, they did well to come back from what looked like a dire situation, but as you said, oh, hold that thought. Looks like we've got a Spectre being engaged on. She's going to just walk out of there with the help of her dagger. Alchemist is still looking for her though. Will they be able to find her? Nah, she should be fine here. Does not have a teleport on her, so she's going to be stuck here for quite a while. And
I think they know that too. I think they clicked on her, they saw that she didn't have a dagger, and now she's in a lot of trouble. If we see one acid spray come down with this Alchemist, they can burn through this Spectre. He's going to throw out the vacuum, not going to find that Spectre. So, and now we see a could just go past the face of that Darkseer. So that's very, very lucky. Things couldn't be luckier for this Spectre right now. If she had died then, that would have been a fantastic pick-off, and that would have been even more for the side of I Don't Know. How Spectre, she's going to be able to TP back out. We're going to see an initiation onto Witch Doctor, who will fall instantly. So will that Vengeful Spirit, and even the neutral creeps coming in to help out I Don't Know here. So CBK, they're in a lot of trouble, especially for this team lineup of I Don't Know.
Is under attack.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know, they have a good AoE potential with that Darkseer, Treant, and Gyrocopter. The Alchemist does a little bit with that Acid Spray, of course, but when the Alchemist is getting so much farm, he's such a strong carry, particularly when Comeback Kings don't have a massive carry. Like, yeah, Spectre's good, but she will struggle against this Alchemist and Gyrocopter combo. And we'll see if Comeback Kings can live up to their name and actually come back in this game. They're certainly fighting an uphill battle.
And I don't know, they've now Iron Shield up. We see that Chemical Rage being popped on the Alchemist, and they're looking to barrel down this tower here. Sand King, he doesn't have a good position for his epicenter at the moment. That's going to be very, very hard for him to try and get a good epicenter. But I don't know, they've decided to back. They have all the ultimates up. I'm surprised they don't want to try and take this fight at the moment. I mean, Darkseid, he is running a little bit low on mana, so he can't pop with his vacuum or get a mech off when he needs to. But I feel as if they could have taken it, and as their lead is quite substantial at the moment. They're 11k gold ahead. That is so much more. If you look at their heroes, their supports are almost doing as well as the rest of the heroes on the side of CBK. And they're quite far ahead at the moment. They should try and take these fights while they're ahead by a mile before CBK can try and get a little bit of farm. But even on the side of, I don't know, they could sit back and farm up themselves and they'll still be in a fantastic position. We have the Alchemist double damage, Shadow Blades in, Cocktail hits for 3/4 of Sand King's health, and then he gets hit for the last 2. So a lot of damage coming out, great pick off, great ward to spot that out, and Sand King, he's now out of this fight. This could spell tier 2 for either side. We have Gyrocopter pushing bottom, and at any time, Pudge couldn't hook him and get a kill. But the way Pudge's hooks are going so far, he'd be lucky if it landed, to be perfectly honest. But if he did, that could be the turnaround.
Yeah, I actually quite like this ward positioning from IDK in the jungle of Comeback King. It's unconventional, it's not a traditional placement, which means the chances of it getting counter-warded is quite low.
We have Pudge going down on bottom lane against the Gyrocopter. He walks in, he dismembers, Gyrocopter's run away. Can we get a lucky hook? Hook's not going to land, and Gyrocopter will get out of there. Gyrocopter got very aggressive, dived in onto that Pudge. Pudge just dismembered under the tower, but that blade, the Shadow Blade on top of Svev, was enough to get him out of there. And in the meantime, that forced side of CBK to rotate down. I don't know if I saw this, so they're just going to take the top tier 2 without too much of a hassle. And that's a free tier 2 tower for Gyrocopter, who's now back down on bottom lane, pushing that bottom tier 2 once again.
Yeah, well played there by him to get out. We're very close there to death though. That hook's just missed. And if that hook landed, I believe it would have put him back into the tower range, which would have given the Pudge sight. So things could have resulted differently. But nonetheless, well played there by Gyrocopter. Managed to get out safely. And well played there by, I don't know, they rotated back into that top lane and finished off that tier 2 tower. So they continue to maintain their lead. And if we just have a quick look at that gold graph, we can see that it's over 12k. It's nearing that 14-15k mark now, so very nicely done by them so far.
So on the buyback statuses, everyone on the side of, I don't know, they have their buybacks, they're ready. If one of them's died, they're straight back into the fight. On the side of CBK, they only have Pudge. So there's basically 2 lives up on these heroes. They can teleport into that tier 1 and they'll be back within that fight within about 10-15 seconds. If it's a long drawn out fight, which usually when you have an Alchemist, it usually is because he just won't die, you'll have all your allies back in the fight to help you out. So CBK, they're in a little bit of a disadvantage at the moment. They don't have anyone else that's got buybacks. Pudge just bought something, so now he doesn't have buyback. And I don't know, they're ready to take this fight. They're ready to force it. Iron Shell's up. Chemical Rage is about to be popped. We have the Gyrocopter popping that Shadow Blade, or not actually popping the Shadow Blade. Tree giving them a little bit of invisibility. And now they're just waiting. They're waiting for CBK to make one wrong move, and they're going to come in and capitalize. So CBK, it's their move. Vengeful, he's coming in, or she's coming in, she wards it, and the entire rotation from I don't know are walking through. They know something's up, so she's running, and then there's a counter ward on the counter ward. So no vision for the side of CBK. Darkseid's doing a little bit of harassment to the Spectre under the tower, but Spectre, she's not taking too much damage. She's got that ring of health and just regens it up quite quickly. Hook's gonna miss.
Ooh, the Pudge.
Hook's gonna miss, and Darkseid just baiting that out, so that's Hook is down for another 5 seconds. He's losing a little bit of mana, but it's not too much of a hassle. If he tries to go for a blind hook, we have Alchemist popping that Shadow Blade. Got that Cocktail coming in. Will he get stunned? He will get it off shortly. Spectre's gonna get hit hard. He gets it off onto the Pudge, however. Pudge is gonna take a lot of damage. Pudge falls instantly. Cordan's been thrown down. Cordan's gonna hit on 1. Vengel's in a lot of trouble. Vengel needs 2 more right attacks from this tree. Tree's gonna pop that Overgrowth. Vengel's gonna throw out that stun counter back, and they're gonna get that kill onto that tree. We got Darkseid rotating in very fast. Vacuums in. No walls being popped. He's got no mana for it. Switch back from that Vengeful. Darkseid's still going to get out of there. Cocktail comes flying through, lands on the Spectre. Great stun by the Sand King. Sand King does not have the Caustic Finale, not Caustic Finale, does not have his ultimate of the Epicenter. He will get taken out by that Rubik who stole that Burrow Strike himself. But Sand King does get away. Lucky for Sand King. Auto attacks coming through onto that Rubik. Rubik's just going to survive very minimally. And both sides should have lost more than what they did, but they both managed to scrape out what they can. And I don't know, come out on top, getting 2 kills and a tower.
Yeah, definitely. They only lost that Treant, who did buy back very, very quickly there. So well played there by, I don't know, maintaining that lead. If you have a quick look at these items as it is, the 22-minute mark, we see that Treant Protector pretty much going full support. He's just got that those Archon boots. Alchemist has that Shadow Blade and Medallion. Rubik looks like he's going towards that drum, as he does have the bracer. Hasn't finished off any other sort of boots for now. That Darkseid doing very, very well. He's got that pipe and mecha, so able to keep his team up very, very well, and they'll actually do wonders up against this Sand King and Witch Doctor, who do deal a ton of damage, both with the magic of the Epicenter, and of course, hold that fort. We've got initiation here on the Spectre, taking a ton of damage. Nice hook from Pudge, might actually end up saving her. This rocket is going to chase, but it might not actually be able to do enough damage. No, it's going to kill it off anyway, so well played there by Pudge, saving the Spectre for nothing.
And I don't know, they're really using their team lineup to the advantage. They needed to group up and then push it, and there's nothing CBK can do about it. They didn't use their early advantages of their stunners, of their heroes to win the tri-lane. They started moving around the map and just fell behind. And I don't know, they've played very great, they've worked together, using everything, synergizing well, and now they're going to get a Roshan out of it. Pudge wants to come in, he's going to go for a hook, but they spot him out. The tree knows that they're there, he's got that invisibility, and now Pudge can't do anything. He's backed off, they're smoked up once again, but now Pudge is going to try and walk back in there, and he might get revealed once again. However, this Roshan is already going to fall, and that's it. Pudge is going to throw that hook. He grabs the Alchemist. Alchemist didn't get time to pick up the Aegis, and that's a fantastic hook coming from that Pudge. A little bit of indecisiveness. Gyrocopter's is going to have to pick up the Aegis himself, but that's a fantastic hero to still have your Aegis up, especially now that he's got that Demon Edge up and he's doing a lot of damage per attack. He's doing 180 damage. And now CBK, they've taken out the Alchemist. It's their time to shine. They're coming in. They're going to look for a kill. They don't have a smoke up and ready, so they're going to walk straight past this ward. And I don't know. They can choose to fight this, or they're just going to back. It looks like they might just want to back, as they're missing one of their stronger damages. Smoke up on the river. They know it's there, and they're already gone. So it's a little bit of a blunder, smoking up on a river underneath a Revelation and an Observer ward. And CBK have just wasted 100 gold and 6-minute cooldown on a smoke.
Yeah, definitely. They decided to just... I like that they decided to just pretty much cancel this smoke early and decide to push the tier 1, as they do need some of those. They actually haven't gotten any tier 1 towers so far, so I do like the fact that they just pretty much prematurely cancelled it. They've realised that they weren't going to lock out any heroes with that smoke gank. They weren't able to get the tier 1 tower either, and they have to back off now, as Alchemist is chasing, does have that Shadow Blade and that stun, and this Witch Doctor is going to be taking a ton of damage and should fall. There it is. Nice Epicenter here coming in from the Sand King though. Oh, great pipe though from the Darkseid, pretty much saves that. There's a hook from Pudge, finishes off the Gyrocopter, but that Aegis is up, and now it's Rubik who's got the Epicenter, deals a ton of damage to Comeback King, and that will be a complete team except for Vengeful.
Admiral Susdog playing fantastic, absolutely astounding on this Darkseid. He pre-piped once he heard and saw that Sand King throwing that Epicenter, so that Epicenter got completely known, and any little damage it did to Mechanism straight back up, and look at them, they're all on full health, nothing happened to him. And then Rubik, stealing that Epicenter for himself, finishing off those heroes. It's just fantastic plays. Fantastic individual players winning this game for I don't know at the moment, but then their teams also playing fantastic. We got the cooldown into the vacuum and stun. Cooldown's doing a lot of damage onto the side of CBK. They will lose the Vengeful. Vengeful will die. Witch Doctor dies further back to that Gyrocopter and his flat cannon damage, and now they've got a tier 3 tower. They might even get the racks. Sand King, he doesn't have too much. He's got a stun, and the GG gets called by Spectre.
Well played there by I don't know. Really took control of the early game and maintained that. We'll hit that GG button. So incredibly well played there by I don't know. Unfortunately, Comeback Kings, as you were saying, they did rotate quite a lot. in that bottom lane, which I feel like they should not have done. As you were saying, they should have just stayed, tried to set up those kills with those reliable stuns. Pudge did well to rotate. Unfortunately, his hooks weren't the greatest this game. But yeah, well played there by, I don't know, I believe they currently hold their spot here.
Yep, I don't know, we'll be holding their spot on the ladder of that 12th position. Comeback Kings, unfortunately, they're going to stay on their 53rd and they'll have to challenge maybe someone a little bit further down the ladders and move their way up into the 20 to 30 bracket. But at the moment, I don't know, they're playing fantastic and they showed why they're in the top 15 on the ladder. They played very well, they used their advantages and their team composition correctly, and they were just able to barrel down the side of CBK. And that will be game. So thank you all for watching another Dota presentation. Xalorith, it's always a pleasure casting with you.
You too, and as always for those watching, you can follow both of us, or you can follow me at twitch.tv/Xalorith or youtube.com/Xalorith, and you can follow Dota Yoshi at youtube.com/Dota Yoshi. It's always a pleasure to cast. As always, my stream is in support of Child's Play. You can donate via my channel page by clicking on the giant green Child's Play logo. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can click on the link in the description, or you can visit their official website at childsplaycharity.org. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.